color. Okay, they got a little money, got a little job, got a little prestige, got a little authority, and what the first thing they do, they get beside themselves and start looking down on someone else. That's, I mean, basically that's what's going on in our society. You cannot, I mean, the people have to understand that you're not where you are a lot of times because of your smarts and your knowledge. A lot of times you're in the position and where you at because of the fact that someone was begging on your behalf.
Yeah.
And just like God promised Abraham, He promised somebody else's mom, somebody else's dad. Man, I'm gonna watch over your children. God told Abraham, I'm gonna make you a father of a mighty nation. He kept that promise to Abraham, even though these children of Israel acting idiot. Were they acting nut?
Yep.
Were they being disobedient? And everything that they was crying about Moses' law, thou shalt have no other God before me. I mean, come on now. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy might, with all thy strength, with all thy soul. All that stuff that they had proclaimed when they talking about the law, they were going against every bit of it. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet. They were going against every bit of it during the time of the judges because whoever had the most power, that's who did what they wanted to do, and could nobody else do nothing about it. I guess everybody was scared. Kind of like nowadays. Some people do whatever they want to. And ain't no one going to say nothing about it and let them get away with it. When we look at the period of the judges of the appendix, Judges 17 and 21, it differs from the rest of the book. The attention is now focused on two incidents that illustrate the sin and immorality of Israel rather than on Israel's great heroes. It kind of shifts in these two chapters. Okay? It's not talking so much about the deliverers, it's talking about what was going on. That's basically what he's saying. The first of the two instances is the account of the Philistines pursuing the Danites. That was the tribe of Dan. Okay? Danites. From the south to the northern part of Israel, they set up an image that was strictly forbidden. They always doing something that was forbidden.
Right.
They always doing something they ain't got no business. It always ended up in trouble. It says, the second recorded chapter tells of the mishandling of the Levites, which resulted in war with the tribe of Benjamin and the near extension of that tribe. Because they was trying to get the Levites. Levites didn't go to war, okay? They were supposed to take care of the temple, the tabernacle, all of that type of a thing. They didn't supposed to shed blood, do anything like that. And the people was to bring the stuff, food back that was left over and give to the Levites. But a lot of them didn't want to do that. It says at the close of the book of Judges, there's no strong personality called by God to unify the book and lead them back into fellowship with Him. In other words, when the book of Judges ends, you all know how the book of Judges ends, and you can look at the history book in the Bible of the book of Judges. And if you have Judges, you'll see where they're ending with they want a king. All of the judges are dead now, so we no longer want judges, brother, because the judges had gotten just as corrupt as the people. And when the judges got corrupt as the people, they wanted a king. And they asked God for a king like everyone else around them. At that particular time, Samuel was the last judge, okay? A prophet and a judge, okay? And God told Samuel as the last prophet to go out and anoint them a king. Because during the time of the judges, you had Eli, and he had two sons that was allowing all kinds of things to go on in God's temple. And because of that, the Lord had killed Eli and his sons, and that ended the period of the judges. And then they began to ask for kings. But you notice that even in the midst of this, Ruth, you have a book called Ruth.
Yep. In
the midst of the judge period, before you get to Samuel, to the times of the king, you have the book of Ruth. And remember, we were talking about basically the genealogy of Jesus when we're talking about the Old Testament and how God used common people to fulfill His plan. And we wonder why Ruth is in the, basically, a woman. She have a whole book in the Bible, based her and Esther. Only two women that have a book in the Bible. So there is a lot of significance to the book of Ruth, okay? And Ruth is basically in the genealogy of Jesus. She is the grandmother of Boaz, she was married to Boaz. So she is in Jesus' genealogy. So if you're going to see how Jesus came on the scene into the New Testament, you can't help but to follow the trail down through the Old Testament and the people that God used in his genealogy to bring him on the scene. So when you're looking at the book of Ruth, remember Ruth basically met Naomi because of the fact that there was a famine, and Naomi and her husband Elimelech and their 2 sons traveled to a foreign land. And when they got over there, the sons died. Okay? Yeah. But they had gotten married to some pagan girls. Okay? Now, this book of Ruth is showing us during the time, you have to see this real clear, during the time of the judges period, when sin and idol worship and everything was running rampage, and God allowed them to go to a land because of the famine, okay? And when they got over there, and because, like I said, I don't see where the Lord told them to go over there. I can see where they probably got kind of impatient and maybe scared they was going to run out of food. So they went into a foreign land, okay? And when they got over there, they had disaster to happen. And when they had disaster to happen, it shows you how Naomi continued to serve the Lord. So basically, when you're looking at Ruth, it's showing you the type of lifestyle even that Naomi was living and conducting in a foreign land, where someone would see her example and want to be like her. She wasn't a loose woman. She wasn't out worshiping idols. Right. She was still reading her Bible. She got Ruth's attention because of the way she conducted her life. So the Lord allowed Ruth a place in the book because she was in the genealogy of Jesus. But one of the other things was, during the time and the cycle of the judges, when everything was corrupt there in the land of Canaan, Naomi moved to a foreign land, but she continued to worship the Lord. Okay? Because if she didn't continue to demonstrate and worship the Lord, then Ruth never would have became attached to her. Right. To bring that famous phrase, where you go, I'll go. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you dwell, I'll dwell. Where I die, where you die, I'll die. And Ruth went back to Bethlehem with Naomi when Opal could have went. And Naomi had told them that you need to go back because I have no more children, and you'll be an old maid before I have men old enough to marry you. So it's best that you go back to your mom and dad, and you can go ahead and purify yourself. Maybe you can find you another husband. And Opal said, yeah, well, I'm going to go on back and do that. And Ruth said, no, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to go. I'm going to stay with you. Yep. But it's just showing you how God still had. Because some people wonder why Ruth is stuck off in the middle of there. But that's showing you how the Lord still had some faithful people during the time of that famine, during the time of the corruption of the judges and the sin cycle of the judges, because Ruth correlates, is going on the same time of the judges cycle. Okay? Just like the captivity, when you look at Esther. Esther is going to show you what was going on in Persia during the captivity, when they were taken into captivity after Babylon and after Syria, then the Persians. That's the parallel between the books. Okay? So I'm just giving you an explanation why they're in here. Okay? But it says, the book of Ruth, the events in the book of Ruth takes place during the days of the judges. But what difference we see? Instead of violence and immorality, see, we read of tenderness and love. It is a story of a godly family from what famous city? Moab.
Moab? Is that all right?
Nope.
It's not?
Bethlehem, right?
There you go, Bethlehem, Judah.
Where did I get Moab?
Yeah.
I don't know where I got that. Okay, well, Bethlehem. What's
The family traveled to the land of Moab because of a famine in their land. They're the two sons of Amalek, and Naomi married Moabite girls who became worshippers of God. What happened to cause Naomi and her daughter-in-law to return to Bethlehem?
Her husband and
Husband died. Two sons died. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
No one left to care for them.
I must have been reading that.
On the way to Judah, Naomi became concerned for the welfare of her daughter-in-law, Oprah, okay, and Ruth, and asked them to return to their home in Moab. Oprah sorrowfully returned, but Ruth refused to leave Naomi in her lonely old age. The words Ruth spoke to Naomi are often used in wedding ceremonies. Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whether thou goest, I will go. Whether thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people. Thy God, my God. And where thou diest, will I die. And there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me." When they returned to Bethlehem, Naomi and Ruth were very poor. We know that. While she was gleaning in the field, Ruth met who? Boaz won his heart, and they were married. Boaz and Ruth had a son who was named
Obed.
Oh, that bed. Obed. Yeah, Obed. Obed, who had a son by the name of Jesse, who had a son by the name of, we going into Jesus? David. You all see, that's why Ruth is in here, because she's in the genealogy of Jesus. Mm-hmm. She's one of the common people that God used to do uncommon things. Because if it had not been Ruth and Boaz, then there would be no Obed. No Obed, no David. No
Jesse. Yeah.
No Jesse, no David. No David, no Solomon. No Solomon, no Rehoboam. It just goes on and down and down. But all of it is basically you looking at the genealogy of Jesus. And that's the main story that's in the Old Testament.